had a dominant offensive line. I've never had the Green Bay Packers running up to the line and blocking for me. So one of the things I've always had to do is teach quarterbacks to process. Now, a lot of this happens pre-snap. So what we're going to talk about right now, we're going to talk about pre-snap reads.
Okay.
And the key to getting rid of that ball is for that quarterback to know what's on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Good quarterbacks know what they do. Great quarterbacks know what everybody on the offense does. Exceptional quarterbacks know what all 22 guys on the field are doing.
Right.
And that's what we try to teach. Obviously, with more time and years to develop guys, you see some guys progress to this area where when they walk up to the line, it's boom, boom, boom. Okay, ready, snap, go. And even before the defense knows what they're doing, he has a general idea of what's taking place on the other side. So the first thing we teach quarterback to do is to identify the safety. Okay, is it a one-high safety or is it a two-high safety? And that right there is going to start us through the process. So we look at the two sets that we have here. Okay, we have our Indy right over set. Okay, Indy right over, that's the H. Okay, there's a long story there because I had a tight end many years ago who didn't want to be a tight end. I said, "You're not a tight end, you're H."
Right.
So that became part of our offense.
Okay.
And when they talk about spread, everybody likes to run trips. This is my trips right here.
Right.
Because I like having that big body.
Okay.
Okay. I don't like having a big body here and then two little ones that that the quarterback can't find. We had a lot of problems with that because I want these guys to be in the mix in the run game, first of all, but also in the pass game. And by putting that H in there, and it also gives me some flexibility because the other formation we use out of this is Indy right over. And the over is talking to the Z. Okay? If it was Indy, then you would see the Z here after there. I'm sorry. Y here, the Z would be here, okay? In Indy, all right? So Indy right over tells the Z, Indy right refers to the H or tight end. Over refers to the Z. So then we're in 3-by-1 formation, and that's important too. But let's start with the 2-by-2 formation. This is Indy right. So the first thing we're gonna have that quarterback do is walk up to the line, and he's gonna look at the safeties, okay? Right here, he would say too high. I actually had a quarterback who walked up to the line every time he went too high because he wanted to let everybody know because it's important to the receivers to know this too. So he would identify too high, okay? Why is that important? Because in every defense, now we don't know. Y'all can say what, that's cover two.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to know because we don't. Defenses are too good. What we do know is what will be the vulnerable areas if those safeties stay too high. First one, right here, okay? All right, that's called a splitter. We're talking about windows, okay? The other one is the hole right behind the corner. All right, so we call that the hole. The other vulnerable area is the stick window, okay? The stick window. And also, there's a horizontal seam window. And that's behind the linebackers in front of the safeties. And then there's also the flat window. So that's what we know. So we know right now, those are the windows in that too-high configuration. And every play that we design attacks one of those defenders, high, low, inside out, high, low, inside out. And so we attack that. When they start through the process, they look at the safety. So we know right now, too high, okay, those is attack areas. And we learn these windows. The other thing we know is we look out to the leverage of the corners. And here's the language we use. We talk about the number one receiver, right here. And that corner, we'll call him down. So we'll say cover down on number one.
Okay, Coach, when you say cover down, does that mean he in press or?
It just means that he's lined up in proximity to that receiver.
Okay.
See, one thing I wanted to get my guys out of is guessing. Because studying NFL defenses, one thing you know is you go higher level, defensive coaches get better at disguise.
Right.
Okay? One thing we do know, he's covered down.
Okay.
Now, in order to cover that whole window, what does he have to do? He has to bail. Yeah, okay. So that we do know. We don't know whether he's in press, but we know he's in a position to press, and if he's going to cover the whole window, he has to drop. So that's the information we know right now. Okay? If we would come up and look over there, and he is what we call uncovered. Number one is uncovered, and a lot of times we write it up like that. That meaning no, not. Okay? All right, so if he's uncovered, he's back here. Do we know what coverage he's in?
He's that far back. It's probably a disguise cover 3.
Could be, but it also could be a roll 2.
Yeah.
Cloud 2.
Right.
Because here again, he's sat there, make you think you got something here, and he's rolling down on the snap, and there goes the ball the other way. So one thing I don't want guys to do is even think about coverages. Just think about where the defense is weak. Okay? Young quarterbacks, the hardest thing they have to learn is where the defense has won. When the defense has won, like in this scenario, and this is why, I don't know if I'm gonna start this because this might be a long discussion, reads versus progression. Okay? Progressions give me highs. Okay? Because if I say that's my number one route, and that corner's off 12 yards, how long is it going to take the quarterback to determine that route's never coming open?
He should know right away.
He should if he's taught.
Yeah. He should come off of that.
But too many times I've seen quarterbacks not taught when to give up on a route. And it's like 1001, 1002. Now I know. Okay, in our configuration, we know that he's already off. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna give the defense a win on that. And I'll show you how that would cause the quarterback to work. So he knows right now in that configuration, let's say both of these corners are off. Okay? We're gonna kill these 2 routes. We're not even gonna wait on them. Why? Because go back to our number 1 rule. Get rid of the football. Okay? In this scenario, as you look at that, and I'm gonna tell you what we do. Every quarterback's number 1 rule, get rid of the ball. Who you get rid of the ball to? The open man. If they come out in this scenario, okay, too high, nobody's covered down. Smoke signal, get the ball out.
Either there or at the top.
Either here or here.
You said at the top, I like the top.
Either here or here. Either here or here. Get rid of the ball. Right now. And it's this. Catch, throw.
Right.
Sometimes don't even get the laces. Whatever the ball comes in your hand, boom, I'm throwing it. Okay? And we'll talk about movement in the pocket because I always believe that on the short throws, one of the biggest problems with some quarterbacks is they don't go towards the target. They know it's a short throw, so they're all armored. And that ball just flutters out there. Okay, look, boom, boom. See where my weight went? And my quarterback's coach, Wayne Starks at Berry, is a baseball guy. And he taught us a lot about playing baseball and weight shift. And I incorporated that into playing football because we had a guy, Trey Faison, great young man. Man, he could throw the ball downfield, 60 yards, put it on the money. Running back right there, he couldn't hit it. Why couldn't he hit it? Because in that short period of time, 6'5" is hard. So what we had to do in the offseason is really work with some resistance bands to make him fight to get his weight going. And now he could catch that ball, get his feet, boom, throw it right there, just as quickly as possible. All right? So in this scenario, we know, first rule of thumb, throw it to the open man. Well, here's the open man. The first year we enacted that rule at Berry, we averaged 9.5 yards on a pass that was 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Because I'm talking about slot.
Right.
9.5 yards, and you think it's a mystery, but no, he's the open man, right?
Yeah.
Get him the ball.
Get him the ball.
Get him the ball right now. If you might want to move over here because I'm at my back to you. Okay. All right. So, coach, we got that rule in place, right? Throw it to the open man. Mm-hmm. But let's say they are in a configuration where that's not going to happen, and we got to do some work. Okay. Sam walk. We'll count that cover. We'll walk. We'll count that cover. Okay, corners down. We're not wasting time saying, okay, we're looking at cover 2, man, which more than likely it is, correct? Okay? We don't care. All we care is how can we get to those areas? And when you start thinking about plays, think about the simplest plays you can run. When we talk about our 10 base plays, they are all taken right out of the West Coast offense playbook, right from Bill Walsh, because I always feel like if it's good enough for Bill Walsh, it's good enough for me.
Amen.
All right? And so the first play in the playbook is 0 hitches. Funny story, my first year at Berry, we went a whole season and did not complete a hitch. I wasn't offensive coordinator. Not blaming, not pointing the finger, but when I ran the stats, we were 0% on a route where a guy runs 7 to 5 yards, more than likely 7, because I want 5, turning around and stand and catch the ball, and we did not complete one hitch in a whole season. Can you believe it? So you know what we started with that spring? Running hitches, incomplete. And we ran it over and over and over again. I'll talk about play count too, because here again, when we start talking about our players to pros offense, we got 5 runs, 10 pass concepts. Okay? We can install that in 2 days, or as Coach saw, we didn't do the run portion, but when we came in the summer, you remember we put those 10 plays in? Yeah. And them kids picked it up and we was off. Okay? And a lot of that is because on these 10 passes, we call the play side and the backside runs a progression every time. Right. Now, the progression can be adjusted, but the reason we put that progression on, because there's no mystery. Right. If I'm the backside, I got first route, the progression is a shallow. Right. Second route is a splitter, we call it. And third route is a big boy post. And that's later. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to call it a pass concept, it's more of a follow. Inside guy runs a sling. Okay? I mean the shallow. Okay. So anyway, so let's put our first pass concept on. Hitches. Okay? Here, 5, 7 yards, sit down. This is very important for your receivers. Okay? When you run the hitch, this is not the position to be in. Because now, if my cleats are stuck in the ground, what do I have to do when I catch the ball? Unstick it. Right. So we have to drill our receivers on massaging the ground. You don't have to pick your feet up, but just keep light on your feet. That's what we do. Boom, now when I catch that ball, boom, I can spin and get out of there. All right? If I feel pressure on this hip, spin that way. If I feel inside pressure, spin that way and get on the sideline. All right? Inside receiver, same thing. 7 yards, sit down. Now, what we like to do, let me go back on this one. What we like to do is press that guy inside as much as we can. Because if he's sitting over top of us, we're reading him. If he stays right here on this hitch, that's the read on that guy right there. If he stays down on there, we throw it on time to here. And this receiver's responsibility is to come back to the ball and keep that corner out of his business. Right. All right. So right here, catch, and here, just like when we threw, this is the same footwork for throwing smoke. Catch, boom, throw. My weight, I'm sitting in the chair, my weight's forward, and that pass gonna have a lot of velocity, and more importantly, it's gonna keep that front shoulder down. Boom, and throw. Because how many times you seen guys like this? Yeah. What happens then?
Lost sales.
Can't sail here. Sail here is picked. Yeah. All right. Sail here is picked. So that ball is out on time. Boom, completion. All All right? We knew we could work in this window. We knew we could work in this window. That's why we were there. Second play in the progression. It's called flash. And a lot of this terminology, I sat down with a guy many years ago who had played in Walsh's system for the Bengals, Turk Schoen, who was quarterback's coach. And one of the things he showed me, like, I told him, I sat down in Mobile and I said, if you were starting an offense today, what would be the 10 things you would teach your quarterback? And that's still what we're working off of today. Okay? A few modifications, but still the same thing. So the second play in that is flash. All right, let me put a flanker over here. All right. So we're gonna go 3-step slant into the middle. The inside receiver, and I've had more debates over this than I care to, is going to run what's a speed out in our offense. What's our rule? Get rid of the ball faster, okay? If that route is slow, then I cannot determine I cannot determine quickly enough who's open based on what this receiver does right here, and also what the corner does, all right? So in this scenario, if they are we will say they are in a cover 2 man, okay? He goes with them, he's chasing here. Right. As soon as he clears, we throw that ball behind his ear. That's why it's called flash, because that defender never sees it. It's just a flash of light right behind his head, and we have a completion. That's why we run the speed out, because now, if I'm running a 3-step slant, and I'm running a banana route or whatever, a slow out, what am I doing? I'm slowing down the read, plus I'm bringing those routes closer together. I always teach my receivers to get wider faster. That's very important. Get wider faster, because we're trying to create a horizontal stretch. If he goes vertical, we lose in the horizontal. It happens later. We don't have time for that. But in this scenario, it's an easy read. The Sam linebacker chases that route because they're in man, and we throw it here. The other thing is protection-wise, and this will help you teach quarterbacks a game plan. Okay. All right, we're in quick game. Okay. Let's say for some reason they muddy the works, and they like a tango call or something. And he ends up locking that down, and he locks that down, okay? I get one read. I look out there. If that Sam doesn't do what I need him to do, that corner's in the way, it's a muddy picture, okay? Now we work on our protection and our escape, all right? In this protection, we're gonna go half slide. That's another seminar. But we'll go half slide. Tailback jumps in there. Everybody's aggressive across the board, okay? The tailback reads the 2 linebackers to his side. Understand, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. All right? I don't mean to be funny, but those 5 blockers can block what? 5 rushers. So that means if we add him, now it takes 6. We take 6, it takes 7 to beat us. Okay? If they gonna blitz 7, the way we're getting the ball out, we're gonna set records. All right. So now, after he comes off of that throw, and here's what we teach quarterbacks. You remember this, young man. There's your escape alley. 2 reasons. If he comes, nobody's blocked. He sits down right here, what we call replace. Yes, sir.
So you throw it right now where it came from, right?
If they blitz. Well, here again, we're in quick game. All right. Most blitzes are accompanied by what defense cover?
Most blitzes are coming by cover 2, most of them.
Yeah, so they'll be off.
Right, but the thing is, so understanding this slide. So on the backside, what he's calling the backside of your slide, they're gonna count 1, 2, 3. They're gonna count all the way out to the Sam sitting out here on that slide. Mm-hmm. So they're watching.
Yeah.
Here's, you see how you got the safety high?
Yeah.
The safety high can roll down.
Right.
And they can bring that Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So those three got those three on the backside. On the front side, you got big on big. And then the back is reading Mike to Will out here. So the back has got two.
One, two.
So what happens is, and this is when you get into it further. So what he has, what will be built in when you get further, is that slide is reading number two. That slide is reading number two because now he becomes part of the blitz pickup.
Right.
So if number two comes and X is running off, and that slot knows to run a quick out. Now, so the quarterback can see him on this side. So he will run a quick out just like he run a quick out on the backside.
Yeah.
But he will be uncovered.
Well,
The two can't.
let me show you where the progression comes in.
Right.
Okay? If we're going, there's many different ways to call this, but it would be flash, and then it would be, and then backside, I wouldn't say anything. Flash, it could be east, it could be pro, it could be true, it could be a number of different calls, and you change those during the season so that people don't get smart on it and go to education. But we know he's working that way with the quick game. There's no indecision. I've called it. Now listen, what happens is the backside two receivers run the progression. Okay, we start inside out. Y'all remember me saying the progression? What's the first route in the progression? Y'all remember? Shallow, okay? His landmark are the heels of the defensive end. Why? Because we want him to get across faster. Everything we do in this offense makes it happen faster. And when you play fast, you put pressure on the defense. Okay, what's the second receiver got? Splitter. He got the splitter. So he's trying to get where? Well, where is he running into? The splitter window. Yep, the splitter window. Okay. So look at the windows we've attacked. So he can stay within this formation because after this happens, that comes across right into the window. So these guys have run off a man, and he's a man, he's chasing. And look at him coming into the window. He crosses late. This guy's gone. You don't want to throw a slant. A slant should be thrown on top, never late. So if I go boom, 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 and I haven't thrown the slant and I haven't thrown the out, now I start moving to my
shallow cross.
Yeah, my shallow cross comes right in, perfect time. If that looks bad, now I start moving into my void, and now I work check down. And I highly recommend that every day in practice, quarterbacks work escape check down. Because here again, how many times have you seen a quarterback turn to make a read? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Now the world caves in on it. Why? Because they don't have a plan. Always plan to succeed. And in this scenario, he starts working to this window where that tailback is already gone, gets his eyes on the tailback. If the tailback's uncovered, do what? Let him take it.
Right.
Let your athlete get it. All right? Let your athlete get it, because after all this is cleared out, man, that check down may be the best play in the game. And he got it. And this is a good athlete turn to get up the field. All right? Let me back up a second.
Now also, anytime you're inside protection, with the West Coast offense, you have two escape lanes. They never run outside, so you have the escape lane and the front side B gap where you're at, and you have escape lane and back side A.
Right.
Those are your throwing lanes.
Right.
You create that through your slot.
And here again, obviously the defense can change this with stunts.
Yeah.
They can change it. But the bottom line is, with that defensive front, there'll be a natural void created.
And you can feel it.
And it's just like planets. You know what I mean? Like a black hole. Everything is attracted to a black hole. And that's what the quarterback should do. And now he starts working to that. He steps up, working to that void. Run backs open, throw. If not, tuck the ball, run, and give me 4. Why did I say that? All right, where are my young guys? Coaches, I know y'all know this. What's that equal?
12. 4 plus 4 plus 4.
In the real world, in football, it equals what? If we get 4 yards out of every single play,
That's the first down.
okay? I just broke down an offense, a college offense. First thing I noticed in the stats, the quarterbacks average -2 yards on scrambles. What does that tell you? He's either getting sacked or not coming up with an escape plan.
Right.
Okay? I won't call any names. But the bottom line is, out of this play, we're running a quick game. Before we start the play, we want what?
4.
We can get it here, we can get it here, or we can get it here. Now, I know we got that nice splitter up there. That's for the coaches. Because all game, you got that splitter. Every time you have a backside progression, you got a splitter going in there, okay? If during the game, we're running a different type of concept, and the box coach is reading these safeties, and he says to the offensive coordinator, or you have your box coach read it, and he says to the offensive coordinator, Coach, that safety's getting greedy. Coach, that safety's coming off the hash. Coach, safety's jumping the hole throw. Get ready, get your extra point team ready. Okay? Because we got some stuff to get that splitter in there. Right. Now, quarterback does make the read, probably on a longer play than this, probably on a 3-step drop from the gun, 5-step from the under center. Okay? 5 steps and a hitch. We'll get to that splitter. But right here, this is for the coaches to read. That's not for the quarterback. Y'all understand? When what we did for you was, quarterback, we divided that field in half and gave you the side to work on, what I call it, adults making adult decisions. Right. Because how many times have you seen a quarterback stand up, okay? Let's say we're left hash. Here's the scenario. We're left hash. We got routes mirrored on both sides, which I moved away from a long time ago. All right, you tell the quarterback, pick a side. Human nature says do what?
You don't throw this right side.
Go to the boundary.
Side, yeah.
He's on left hash, throw away. Why? It's closer, it's shorter. That's good. I'm good with that. But what if to the boundary, it's 3 defenders over 2? Now your odds of them having that spacing is limited.
Yeah, so
all right?
Then go to play side.
If I'm gonna throw into the boundary, more than likely it's gonna be trips over here, or Indy right over here, and we're gonna work some kind of game that's gonna force that corner to his third, and then come back under with a deep comeback curl, you name it, post stop, a lot of different things I can do, okay? So anyway, but understand, just for review purposes, I looked at this formation and I decided, okay, where to work based on the setting of the field, okay? Let's move off of that and let's get over here to a 3-by-1 concept, all right? So now we look up, quarterback comes up, and he says, one high. He lets everybody know it. Right. Because the receivers need to know it too. Right. And the receivers need to know these attack windows, all right, when they're filling it. Okay. So he goes one high. That means a safety in the middle of the field. That means the middle of the field is what?
Close.
Okay? All right, when you see this, coaches, get excited. Yeah. It's time to set records. Yep. Okay, because your running game has forced them down into the box. Mm-hmm. Now, when it's time to pass, especially off the play action, let's look at our windows. The primary window against one high is the seam. So that's the seam. Okay, love the seams. Love the seams. And you say, we are in 3-by-1. How do we work seam to seam? We'll get to that. But I love seams, okay? The other window, okay? Well, let's talk about what window is closed. What did I tell you? If he's off the ball and we got a vertical route here, which route do we kill?
Kill that.
We kill it. Okay, why? There is no whole window. He's one step from picking a curl, a deep out, a comeback. He's in prime position to play all of those routes. So kill it. All right, let me just draw up a college flood. All right, well, before I do that, number 3. Okay, so number 1, somewhere I got to get this written so y'all can have it. All right, number 1 is what? Hitches. I'm sorry, 0 is hitches. Hitch. Okay, I'll spell sometime today. All right, number 1, 2. 1 is flash. Right. Number two, slants. Now, I know there is a slant in flash, but the reason we have double slants here, because they're both very important routes that stand on their own.
Right.
Plus, we can tag off of that. All right?
Okay.
So that's our base. Number three is as easy as it gets. Basic. That comes from West Coast terminology. Okay? Basic gives you a forced outside release by number one. What does that mean? And this was a running debate with my young kids when I first started coaching. Okay, stand up for a second. Okay, you're a corner. All right. And he's the quarterback. And I run here to run my go. Where can your eyes never leave the quarterback?
Yeah, I see the quarterback.
Right? You see that? All right, I run a forced outside release and I work to that shoulder. Where your eyes now?
Away from the
Away from the quarterback. So here again, I've had guys with a corner sitting way out here with his butt almost to the sideline decide, oh, I'm going to take the easy way and run inside. Guess what? He's already off. My quarterback throws the underneath route, which is the, what kind of out?
Quick out.
Yep. Speed out, quick, whatever you want to
He's
call it.
already looking at it.
Okay? And he goes inside of that corner. Guess what the corner's doing? Bop, 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 knockout. Okay? Be a teammate. All right, get on my soapbox for a quick second. They say there's no I in team. I disagree. There's not only an I, there's an I, an O, and a U in team. Meaning, I owe you to be the best I can be. If I'm taking the inside, the easy way on this route, what am I doing to my teammate? Selling them out. I'm not helping them. I owe you better than that, okay? Remember that, guys, because that'll help you be a great ball player. So this is basic, all right? Now, when we start adding a third receiver, this is when we have playtime, okay? So the quarterback comes up. Let me just do the first scenario. Quarterback comes up. Quarterback comes up. Corner's off. Do we know what coverage it is?
Cover three, more like you got one high.
Could be.
I guess what we're going
Could be. Let's not waste any time trying to guess. What do we know? We know he's in a comfortable position to do what? Kill that. Okay? So we kill that by going over here to the H and running in. Okay, this is a high-low read, right? All right, it's a high-low read. All right? So we bump that read down to a stick flat read, which is a inside out read. This is a now, okay? Very easily. H, stick. Okay? We don't waste any time, and this is why I hate progressions. Because if I ran a progression and I said that's our number one route, by the time I come off of this route, somebody's come over and cover this. He's had time to go up to the curl flat window, come all the way down and cover up the stick. We ain't gonna give him a chance. You understand? So we kill the deep route, then we go to our inside out read, which is our stick read. And this is how you teach it, okay? We teach the base first, then we go 3 by 1. Now we have fun with it. So we add the stick read in there. And what is that stick read on? The alley defender. The alley defender. Because who is the only person that can affect these two routes?
The alley defender.
The alley defender. All right? Now he can't do them both at the same time, right? So he's got a choice. I drop back to the curl flat window, I rock down on the flat, we throw the stick. Notice I have the stick turn which way?
Outside.
Away from the linebacker. Because once that linebacker, every linebacker in America, what's his first move? You got to do that, right? All right, especially if we're flashing the running back. Then he has to do what?
Turn his hips.
Turn his hips and get out to the stick. But before he's gotten there, boom, let's say he goes up and back. All I need him is to go away from the stick, and boom, I throw the stick. I throw the stick now. Now, let's say some reason, another way they would run this is they have the safety up high. They have this linebacker outside leverage. So on the play, he sits right here. Now I throw this immediately. while the corner's still working back to his third before he has a chance. Because now, and this is our teaching here, run the speed out. Why? Because you're going to get the ball quicker. Once you get the ball, now, and this is what I hate, I catch the ball here. How many yards do I need? Go back to that. What's the best way to get 4? Catch. And put your shoulder right on those tick marks on the sideline and work up the field. Don't waste time dancing. I don't dance. I don't like watching dance. Okay? So you got that inside out, and you get it there. Okay? Let's review.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
So I'm a defensive guy.
Yes, sir.
So usually when I run a cover 3, I bail outside.
Okay.
All right.
You gonna get outside of that stick?
And then I run quarters
Okay.
underneath.
Okay. All right. So is he gonna go to the curl flat or straight to the flat?
He's going to curl flat or straight to the flat.
Right here.
Yeah. Then my inside backer is playing seam on the front side.
Straight to the flat.
And we got a seam. That Sam.
Okay. Is he bailing? Cover
He
3.
bail.
Okay.
That Sam is sticking on the seam.
Right. Okay.
I'm
I'm gonna take that.
The other Mike is gonna run the seam.
Okay. As soon as and this is why I say we've quickened the reads, right? As soon as he bails, boom.
Stick is on.
Because I'm only looking at one guy. And here's where you have to train the eyes of the quarterback. You know, some quarterbacks catch the ball and doing this right here. Remember, we ain't quick game.
Yes,
Okay? It's boom, and I'm already making my move as I'm making the read. I'm not setting up, then reading. As soon as I get the ball, my eyes in quick game go right to the throw. Now, that's going to work for us later on. Because remember what I said is backside. Coach, that free safety is flying over there. Okay, sell front side, then hit the splitter. Redrop, bam. Got it. And I can show you example after example of where we've done that. Okay, why didn't I run a shallow here?
Shallow cross, too much traffic.
Thank you. So I just eliminate the shallow.
Too much traffic across there. You got to fall back.
Right.
Playing quarters.
And a lot of times I'll tell you what my preference is. My preference, and I have a lot of backside tags. So I teach the front side, right? And then I have fun with the backside. So one of them is 68. None of y'all born that, right? Chevy. Okay?
Yes, sir. 68, quick thing.
68.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. That post backside, what window is he going into?
He should hit that backside seam.
He hits the seam.
So he's running the skinny post.
Right. So, coach, that safety is getting off the hash.
So you want that quarterback to move the safety with his eyes when he reads the front side and come out and hit the skinny post.
Yeah, that's down the road.
Yeah.
But once you get to that level, and I've seen it in quarterbacks, once they get the basics down and they start forcing the defense into a part of the field that they don't want to be, because, coach, you want to stay balanced. But I'm heavy-handed over here. I'm giving my 3 receiver routes a chance. Why? Because I want your defense to start flowing that way, because eventually, I'm sure that's my fastest guy on the team, and historically, if it isn't, it better be this year.
Yeah.
Because think about all this stuff we're doing. What are we really looking for? One-on-one.
We're going to match up backside.
One-on-one. I could be running Ringland Ball and Bailey's 3-ring circus. All I want to do is force the defense where they don't want to be to get back to that matchup. But let's stick to the basics. Anybody have any issues with that? And I'm going to give you a sheet with all the reads, and I'm going to give you the 10, even if they're not in that book that I get, I'll send it to you. And you'll have the 10 basic reads. Okay? Is that doable in spring football?
Yeah.
2 days. We came down here for the
P2P thing.
when I came down here for P2P, we did that in like an hour.
Yeah.
We talked to the coaches for a little while, gave them the 10 basic routes, and then we gave it to the kids, and I mean, by the end of practice, coach, we were just running up and down the field, and they were loving it. Why? Because they didn't have a whole lot going on in their head. And anybody who has too much to learn plays slow.
Right.
Okay? So anyway, did I do all the windows that we attacked? Let me redraw this.
You put your seam route,
I want to put them all up there, coach, because I know I jumped ahead, but I'm trying to compress what I do. Because when you talk about where to attack, we could spend 3 hours on that by itself, and I know y'all got important things to do. You got to check Instagram and Twitter and Pictionary, as I call it. All right. No, that was Z over here. Okay. All right. Say in this scenario. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's look at this. Let's start quarterback. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Safety.
one high.
One high. One high. Middle of the field is closed. Okay? So, here again, and I've seen this before, if I'm in a 2x set and I'm one high, what route should not be running in the one high from the inside?
Post.
Huh?
Post.
Yeah, right.
You run straight into it.
You run straight into it, and I've seen that call. You got one high. I not only saw it on tape, I saw it called into the one high safety, inside post, but I saw the quarterback read it. Not very well because he ended up throwing it to who? And you know, he gets up beating his chest about his interception, and it was the world's easiest interception. So anyway, so that's why the middle of the field is closed. All right. What's the prime? Seams. Right seam, left seam. Now I'm throwing it even here, but let's say we're on the left hash. That spread's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I try to spread the field. I don't try, I spread the field. I tell some guys, if you have to go to the Coke machine and line up, whatever you got to do to separate this guy and this guy. All right? If I compress the formation, which I will do in certain circumstances, I'm bringing these guys what?
Inside.
Closer together, okay? All right, so that's the first window. All right? We talked about which window is closed. Right?
Yeah.
Let's close the whole window for right now. And I don't mind because if he's closed the whole window, the whole shot, guess what? We have to work in. Okay, curl and flat. Yep, curl and flat. Coach, I put that hitch in there with curl.
Okay.
They're synonymous in my lingo. All right, so curl, flat. All right. If they told me, Coach Kraft, you can only run 2 routes all day in a game, I'm gonna run 2 different routes. All right. For any one high, if I only had one high, you give me 1 route, I'm gonna run what? A curl flat concept. All right. If you say you can only have another route to run against cover 2, I'm gonna run smash all day. All day. All right. We'll have this to cover. This is the 2 high side of the board. All right. Safety, strong safety, free safety, corner. Just for right now, I'm gonna draw. Don't judge, coach. I'm just gonna draw that up. So what do we say is open here? Whole shot. Splitter window, whole shot, flat, and stick window. And I tell you what, on top of this one, I'll show you a route to attack that 5 behind the line of scrimmage. And you're gonna say that's crazy. All right. So let me just get everything up so my coaches don't judge me. All those coaches tuning in on our live feed, don't judge me. All right? Why? U, X, F, Q, T. All right? Now, I'm gonna get into right before now that we're getting this attack thing down, I'm also gonna show you ways to flip the field and outnumber the coverage. Okay? But right here, you see, who asked me what smash? On the outside, smash, you have a pitch. Okay? That's obviously not to the wide side of the field. I'll tell you why in a second. Inside, if it's a slot, he runs a post corner. That is the most important part of that route.
Yeah.
Because what is that safety's job? I'm the safety. I'm over top of slot receiver. What do I start doing? Okay, that receiver goes inside, what do I do? Mirror. Okay, now what I gotta do when he goes back to the corner? I'm behind.
And you gotta flip it hips.
Yeah, I'm behind. So, like I said, if you told me, against this, I'm running curl flat all day. You said against too high, I'm running smash all day. Why? Because I want to force those safeties off of the hash.
Right.
All right? For your quarterback, just so you know, when we're throwing this, okay, 3 steps to throw the corner, all reading off of this. Remember, does it go back or does it go up? You say, well, coach, you're not counting the safety. Yeah, I have, right here. I'll count on that safety taking the cheese. Because here again, the next time he doesn't take the cheese, the smash is over here and he's doing what? Running the splitter. Now, all these routes, when we run splitter, and that ball cannot be up there in the atmosphere, it is thrown pretty much on the road. The biggest fallacy in the world about deep balls is deep balls got to go up to Mount Everest and come down. No, deep balls thrown on time, thrown to an open man, need to get there.
Right.
All right?
Lead to a big play.
All right, while we're here, talk about variables, okay? If I had like I said, if I wrote a book, it'd be 1,000 ways to run curl flat, 1,000 ways to run smash, okay? Look at these routes that we're running. What's another way to attack? Okay, we're running smash, we're attacking here. It's a high-low read on the corner, high-low. What's another way to get to that? That window.
A lot of colleges start using the slot fade kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Look right here. Go right. Same window, right? Mm-hmm. Same window. Okay. What's another way to do it? One hour.